Good evening to everyone here.
Good evening.
I really want to appreciate you all. I want to thank the organizers of this event who also invited me to be here today. I don't take it for granted, so thank you, thank you. So permit me to share my screen immediately so we can get into the presentation. Okay, just gonna share. Okay, so my name is Stella Metolici, and I'm a licensed financial professional. I help families, I educate, I bring the education to our community because our financial education is very, very important to us. So we're fighting financial ignorance. Financial means education of the middle class. Why 95% of Americans end up poor, and how do we fix it? So you and I are the middle class. We work really hard. We take care of our families. But when it gets time to retire, somehow we don't have it all the way we wanted. So the 5% elite, people that are successful in America, they have certain principles they consider before they move their money or put their money somewhere. So one of them is make money and never lose money. So the second one says never forget number one. Okay. Let me take Mr. Shagun, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Okay.
you.
What is principle number two? I would like you to remind me as we go along, okay? What does number two say?
Anyone or Mr. Shegun?
Mr. Shagun.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
never forget the rule number one, right?
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm gonna come to you. I'm gonna come to you, sir. Okay. So number three says management versus non-management fees. They consider that inflation is 3%. They also consider double taxation, flexibility versus liquidity, compound interest, social security. Critical and chronic illness is number one cause of poverty and bankruptcy in America. If you and I know this, we prevent it. If we don't know, we suffer from it. Number 10, the voice of the nurse, the estate, and the probate court system. So we're going to go through this principle one after the other. So these are the financial portfolios we have in this country. We have checking, savings, all the way to pension. So we're going to talk about number one all the way to number 11. Why? Because number 1 to 11, you have control over. But do you see number 12 is Social Security, is your money is controlled by the government. Pension is also your money is controlled by your employer. So principle number one says make money, but never lose money. So I want to show you here where you make money and you never lose, and where you make money and you have to lose some of the money. Checking accounts, you make money, you never lose money. Same thing with your savings and the CDs. But the 401ks is our retirement. 457, all these buckets here is our retirement. We make money here and we lose some of that money. Mr. Ibo, if I may ask you, which of these buckets do you currently have? How do you say your name?
Ibukunolu.
Ibukolo, okay. Mr. Bukolo, which of these accounts do you currently have?
I'm going through them now. Let me see. I have number one, number two. Number three, no. Number four, I have it. Number
Okay.
five, Odape Money. At number six.
Okay.
Number seven, which Bitcoin and stocks. Bitcoin. Yes, I have Bitcoin.
Okay. So you have one, two,
I
three.
have number eight as well, life insurance. I think I have life insurance. Yes.
Oh, okay. You have almost all of them. So when last did you check your 401k?
Ah, it has been long ago. I didn't check it all.
Okay. Let's go along. So in your 401k, you make money there and you lose some of the money. Same thing with your IRA, your Roth, and the Roth 401ks. But index annuities, life insurance, and municipal bonds, here you make money and you don't lose the money. College fund, also you make money and you lose some of that money. So now you know where, Mr. Ibu, where you make money and you never lose, and where you make money and you lose some of the money. So, Mr. Shegun, what was principle number 2 again?
Never forget the rule number 1.
Thank you. So number 3 is asking, would you like to pay somebody to manage your money, or would you prefer to manage it by yourself? So checking accounts, savings, CD, you don't have to pay anybody to manage them for you. So Mr. Ibu, do you know your 401k, you're paying somebody called a financial advisor about 2 to 4% of whatever you have there to manage it? Did you know that?
I know, I didn't know that before. I'm hearing it for the first time.
Okay. So most of us, like we work for our jobs and they give us 401k. The 401k could be managed by Fidelity or all of these companies. So those companies that manages the 401k, they take about 2 to 4% of whatever you have in that bucket. So let's say you have 100,000 there, they will be taking about $2,000 every year until you retire. So same thing with IRA, Roth IRA, Roth 401k, and stocks. But index annuities, you don't have to pay any manager. Life insurance, you don't pay anyone. Same thing with municipal bonds, you don't have to pay anybody. College fund, you have to pay. So now you know where you don't need to pay anyone to manage your money and where you have to pay somebody to manage your money. Okay. What is inflation? Inflation is a rise in prices of goods and services. When we talk about inflation being 3%, if I bought this pen for $1 this year, it's expected because of inflation that I should buy this pen for $1.03. Why? The power of inflation. So if you keep your money anywhere it's not growing above 3%, that money is dying to inflation. So let's say, for example, the apartment we used to live before, a 2-bedroom apartment 5 years ago was renting for $1,250 a month. That same apartment, the same 2-bedroom, is now renting for $2,850. So if I had kept my $1,250 in my checking account and I brought it out 5 years later, do you think I'll be able to rent that apartment? No. Okay. So that's the power of inflation. Our checking account is growing at 0.1%. Our savings, 0.2%. CD, 1%. When it comes to our 401k, IRA, Roth IRA, stock, and Bitcoins, we don't know at what percentage is growing. So let me take you down the memory lane. This is the history of the stock market from 1998 all the way to 2022. So by the end of 1997, this person had about 250,000 in their 401k. So look at the year 1998, market was good. They were making money. The money grew and became $374,000. So now look at the year 2000. This was called the dot-com crash. What happened here? The internet was new. Everybody was freaking out. Everyone sold their stocks. 3 years in a row, markets crashed, about 48% here. This person went from $374,000. He's now back down to $225,000. Remember, he started at $250,000. Now, anytime the market crashes, they tell people, oh, don't worry about it. We've had it before. It's going to come back up just to calm the temperature. But the financial impacts, you and I and our community will be the ones to suffer. Now, look here, the market came back and this person went up again. But look at the year 2008. This was called the real estate crash. Some of you might have been here by then. That time, market lost about 43%, and this person now went from how much? From the 370, he's back down again to 207. So now remember how old this person was in 1998 is no longer how old they are now in 2008. They've added how many years? 10 years of their life. What does that tell you? They are heading towards retirement. This is not the story they need to be hearing. So the US stock market is expected to crash every 8 to 10 years. It's called market correction. So that's why we are not sure at how many percent is growing. But index annuities is doing 5% at least. Life insurance, 8%. Municipal bonds, 4%. College fund also in the stock market. So now you know where your money is dying to inflation, where we don't know how many percent is growing at, and where is definitely growing above the inflation rate. Okay. So, taxes. This is a big one. President Roosevelt said, "You have the right to create your own wealth with the most efficient tax method. You are not under any obligation to pay more than you're legally supposed to pay in taxes." So what does this tell us? This is why the 5% elites, the people who knows how to work the system, they pay less taxes. But you and I, the middle class, how on earth are we paying more than Donald Trump in taxes? He's a millionaire, he's a billionaire, he has money. But some middle class folks are paying more in taxes because we don't understand the tax code. So checking accounts, the money we have in our checking accounts, Mr. Ibu, the money in your checking accounts, is it the money from your job?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
That's where they pay
your money. Okay. So before they put the money there, they've taken out the taxes, right?
Oh, yes, correct.
Okay. So do you remember right around January, February, do you remember getting any letter from your bank asking you to go file taxes on the little interest you made in your checking and savings account?
No, I didn't receive any.
Have anyone received a letter before? Some of us receive it, we just trash it because it's very insignificant, right? You could make $100 in a whole year. So when we get that letter, it's called double taxation. Why? Because the money in that account is already taxed from your job, and now you put it there and they ask you to pay another tax. CD, you also pay taxes. Our 401ks, they tell us do not pay tax now, pay tax later. So now paying tax later, what does that mean? That means when we get to retirement, we must pay the tax. They do not forgive the taxes. So this is what they tell us. So let me give you these two options, Mr. Ibu. Tell me the one you're going to do. If I come to you, Mr. Ibu, and I tell you, okay, take this 1 grain of corn, pay me your tax now on this 1 grain. And then when you make your harvest, probably you make this as a harvest, do not pay me taxes because you paid me on this 1 seed before you planted. Or do not pay me tax on this 1 seed of corn. Go plant it. When you make your harvest, pay me tax on this one. Which one will you do?
I will pay you tax before I even harvest on the seed I want to plant.
Okay.
That makes sense, please.
That's a very smart choice.
Yeah.
That is in theory. In practical, we're doing number 2. We're doing the other one. So the money here in our 401k 457 is pre-tax. So that means you're gonna put the money in the 401k. When the account grows, you retire, the government want the tax at that time. So now what does that mean? Let's say you have over $200,000 in your 401k at retirement. All that money doesn't belong to you. Uncle Sam must ask for their taxes. Your IRA, same thing, but Roth IRA, they've already taken out the tax before they put the money there. So when you retire now, you don't have to pay taxes on that. Your stock and Bitcoins, when you sell your stocks, you pay capital gain tax. Annuities, some people roll over their 401k into annuity, you're still going to owe that tax. You will pay the tax when the time comes. But life insurance, you do not have to pay taxes. Municipal bonds, no taxes. College fund, you don't pay tax if you use the college fund in their state it was open. So let's say I open college fund for my daughter instead of California. If she find a cheaper school instead of Ohio, by that time she'll be transferring to Ohio to go to school, we will have to pay the tax at that time. Okay, so now you know where you have to pay taxes and where you don't have to pay taxes. How fair is this? That in municipal bonds where you make up to 4%, you don't need to pay tax. But you keep your money in your checking and savings account, you only make 0.1 interest, you have to pay tax. So it's just information and knowledge. Okay, let's go ahead on to the next one. How can you have access to your money without paying penalties? Your checking accounts and savings, of course, you can take money here, no penalties. CDs, they have to mature. Your 401k, 457, TSP. So 401k, 457, all these are like retirement buckets. TSP is for people in the military. This is the 401k in the military. So when you take money from these retirement buckets before age 59 and a half, you would have to pay 10% in penalties plus the tax. Your IRA, if you take more than 5% from your IRA, you will pay 10% penalty. This is before age 59.5. You will pay 10% penalty. But if you take less than 5%, you're green, no penalties. But your Roth 401k, same thing. If you touch it before age 59.5, you will pay the 10% penalties. Your stock and Bitcoins is yours. You can sell those anytime, no penalties. That does not exempt you from the capital gain tax. Your annuities, depending on what kind and where you got the money from. If the money in your annuity came from your 401k, you will have to wait until age 59 and until you pass age 59.5. If the money came from your savings and checking accounts, you can take it anytime, no penalties. So, Mr. Ivy, if I may ask you, do you know there are some life insurance that you can take money just the way you take from your savings and checking accounts? Do you know that?
I've not had that before.
Okay. So bonds also, the bonds have to mature. College fund again. College fund work against our kids in so many ways that we do not know. So with college fund, let's say your child wants to be LeBron James or Beyonce. They don't want to go to college or they want to start a business. The money here was meant for college. If they do anything that is not college with this money, they will have to pay some penalties. Also, let's say your child, when your child is filling out a FAFSA form to get to get tuition assistance, to get any of those, this account is going to pull up. Why? Because it's attached to your child's social. So when it pulls up, this will determine how much your child will get. And this may disqualify the child from getting grants to go to college, okay? So now you know where you can access your money without having to pay penalty and where you absolutely have to pay penalties to access your money. Okay. So have you wondered why you close on a mortgage today and the mortgage is $300,000 and you pay off the house in 30 years, you have paid almost $800,000. Engineer Shola, have you wondered? Have you asked yourself why?
I understand how it works. So it's not a surprise to me because you have to pay the interest and compound interest for that matter. It's not just interest.
Okay.
So yes.
Okay, that's amazing.
No surprise.
Yeah, you're right. So same thing with our student loan. You keep paying, you can never pay it off. Same thing with credit cards. So compound interest, like Mr. Shaler said, is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays for it. This is by the great mathematician, Albert Einstein. So let me just give you a practical example of what simple interest is and what compound interest is. Let's invest $100,000 at only 10% interest rates on a simple interest bucket and a compound interest bucket. So let's go to year 5 and see what the difference is. So year 5, the person on a simple interest bucket have made $150,000. The person on a compound is now at 161. What is the difference? The difference here is that on a simple bucket, they calculate your interest off of your initial principal. So even if your account lasts for 1,000 years, that's how they'll do your mathematics. But on a compound interest bucket, they calculate your interest off of your initial principal plus all the gains. So now let's go down to year 40. So in year 40 now, the person on a simple have made over $500,000. So Mr. Samuel, please throw me a number of what the person on a compound could be making.
About 2.4
2.4?
range. Yeah.
Amazing. Engineer Shola, throw me a number. You're muted. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'll go around 2.5 M also.
2.5, beautiful.
Yeah.
Mr. Shagun, are you off the camera? Throw me a number. I need more numbers.
Maybe 4.3.
4.3, beautiful. Mr. Ivy. Throw me a
I'll
number.
go for 4.5.
Wow.
It's going to be 1 plus R, everything raised to power N.
Who is doing that mathematics?
The statistician in the house.
Mathematics in the house.
The statistician in the house.
Let me tell you, whoever did that mathematics is a mathematician. That
Oh,
person,
yes.
That's what you
that
want.
person
He
needs to
is.
replace this man here.
He's a professor.
Okay.
So, you see, the president of the company is now making $4.5 million. Remember, two of you started at the same time with the same principal at the same interest rate. The only difference here was what? Knowledge, information, access. This person here, this is where the 5% elites keep their money. They put it on a compound bucket where it makes more interest for them. Now, let me ask this question. Mr. Shola, do you have a mortgage?
Yes, I do.
You are enjoying compound interest, but on the paying side.
Yeah, it's the bank that is enjoying it, not me. I know that.
You are on the paying side. So you see how
Uh,
we have our credit cards, and most of our credit cards starts from 17% to 20-something%, right? And this is just what 10% looks like. Now, let's imagine what 20-something% on our credit cards could look like. So that's why you close on a mortgage, you keep paying. The
My
first
God.
10 years,
System.
the first 10 years, you're literally paying for the interest. Same
In
thing,
this,
you buy a car for $40,000. By the time you pay that car for 5 years, you've paid almost $80,000. So that is the power of compound interest. So we, the middle class, everything that we pay for is done by compound interest. Our student loans, our car loans, our mortgage, everything. So now, Mr. Shola, if you have access, let's say you have 20,000 sitting in your savings account, where do you think you're going to put it? On a simple interest bucket or in a compound interest bucket?
it's going to be on a compound interest bucket.
100%. So now in this country, these are the only two accounts that grow by compound interest uninterrupted: the fixed index annuities and life insurance. Okay. See, everything else we have. Okay. All right. So I'm going to pick on you, Mr. Shola. How long have you been in America?
22 years now.
22 years? Wow.
Yeah, at least. Yeah.
You should be a governor in your state. You can
I'm
run for
working.
governor, you know that?
I'm working on that.
Please do
Okay.
that. We're going to vote for you, okay?
All right.
So you've been here over 22 years, working hard, being a good American citizen.
Right.
Let's say, Mr. Shola, by choice, you say, you know what? I don't tire to work. How many days forward can you survive if you stop bringing in the paycheck today?
Oh, probably 30 days, 1 month.
Amazing.
Uh-huh.
1 month, I am very proud of you. I applaud you. Okay.
Okay.
So somebody just disappeared. Someone on iPhone 14 just disappeared.
I think he's having signal issue. He keep going in and
Yeah.
out.
yeah.
So what is your name?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, good. I don't know what's going on. I was trying to raise my hand, but something's
Oh,
Oh,
wrong with
sorry.
my phone. Yeah. What was the question
Okay.
again? I missed that.
Okay. I started with what is your name? Are you Mr. Femi?
No, my name is Wale Ajadi.
Okay. Mr. Wale. So, Mr. Wale,
Yes.
let's say today is your last day at work
Okay.
by your choice.
All right.
How many days forward can you survive if you stop bringing in the paycheck?
I could go possibly 90 days,
Amazing.
Yeah.
That is beautiful. I'm very proud of you all here. Okay. So this is by choice. You could go about 90 days.
Yes.
And for Mr. Shola, also by choice, he could go for 30 days.
right.
And you have been a hardworking American for years, bringing in the paycheck every 2 weeks or 1 month, right?
Right.
So do you see anything wrong in that picture that if you stop working today, that you could only go maybe 3 months, 6 months, 1 year max?
Yeah, everything is wrong about it.
Okay.
That's why I'm not going to do it by choice. But if I do it by being forced out, yes, I
Okay.
have myself covered. So
Okay.
yeah,
So now let's go to the second part of this question, right?
yes.
What if the reason why you could not bring in that paycheck was because the doctor said you had a critical or chronic illness that will make you not to go to work? Do you think that will make the financial situation worse or better?
It's going to be worse.
Okay. So now the last question is, do you think being sick is a matter of if or is it a matter of when?
It's when.
Amazing. So when that when happens, what do we have in place that can replace our income immediately, keep our family in the home, pay off our mortgage, pay the cars, keep everything that we have worked so hard for? What do we have that can do it? Our checking accounts will run out. Savings, the same thing, CDs. 401k, we don't even care about penalty. We're going to max it out, right? IRA, all of these buckets is not going to do it. But do you know what can replace your income immediately? It's going to be your life insurance. If you have life insurance with the right company, with the right riders, it can take care of you, replace your income immediately. Life insurance with riders like heart attack, stroke, cancer, end-stage renal failure, all of these conditions here. Or if the doctor says you can no longer perform 2 activities of daily living, if you cannot feed yourself, you cannot dress yourself, if you cannot perform any 2 of these, that will automatically kick in the life insurance to replace your income. Okay? So when we talk about something like this, some people will say, you know what, Miss Stella, I have a good job. I work with the government. Like, I am in the military. I know I didn't share that part. I am in the military. As when I meet some folks that are in the military like me, what they tell me is like, we have a lot of benefits, which is true. No lies. So they tell us I have a government job. When I'm sick, the government will take care of me. You know, I don't have to worry about all of this. So now, what happens when you get sick and you have a job? They will give you disability, right? Short term, 3 months, long term, 6 months. So what happens after the 6 months? Now, after you've exhausted your 6 months at your job, the job will give you a beautiful letter letting you know how sorry they are that you're sick and letting you know that your position will be kept for you. They want you to go home and feel better. When you feel better, they will like you to come back. They will tell you take as many months as you want. This is just a beautiful way of firing you without telling you that you're fired. They'll just send you home. Now, what happens? With us middle class, we will go downtown to Social Security office to let them know that we can no longer take care of ourselves, that we need help, we need government help. They will welcome you, give you a seat, give you the forms, and you fill them out. After you fill them out, they will go back to the back office, run your information. Now, this is where it downs on us. So now they have what they call a 5 years look back on your finances. They will look at your finances in the last 5 years in America. They will see all the money you have sent to Nigeria. They will see all the money in your savings and checking accounts. They will see all of these accounts. And now what would they do? They will assign you to a social worker that will take you to an office and sit down and ask you a few questions. They will say, Mr. Shola, welcome. We can see that you have 20,000 in your savings account. Is that true? You say yes. You say, okay. You have to go back and spend down because we have what we call the spend down policy. You have to spend down until you're left with $2,000 before you can qualify. And they will tell you again, Mr. Shola, we can see that you have about 150,000 in your 401k. You say yes. They will also remind you, please, we need you to go back and spend that because now you need help. You're sick. All of these accounts, they will want you to go back and spend it down until you're left with how much? Only $2,000 before you can qualify for Social Security benefits. But do you know what they cannot see? They will not see your annuities. They will not see your life insurance. They don't have access to see those buckets, because if they do, they will tell you to use it. Same thing with bonds and college fund. They will see all of that and they will have you spend down until you're left with $2,000. So what do we do as middle class? We go home and toughen it up. Even if your spouse is working, they will see that as well. They'll tell you that two shall become one. They want your spouse to take care of you. So you have to be poor and miserable in this country to qualify for Social Security. Now, if you have a house and you have a car, they will also see that. When you see your house, they will tell you, Mr. Shola, we would like you to sell your house. And they'll be like, oh no, if you sell your house, you're going to be homeless. You say yes. They say, no, we don't want you to be homeless. We have an option for you. They give you another form to sign away your house, so that whatever happens to you, they own the house now before you can qualify. You have two cars, say, Mr. Shola, they want you to go back and sell the most expensive car. You have to only have one car. So this is when it dawns on us, the middle class, that we cannot qualify for these things. Some of you may have family members or friends that have been through this and you may have an idea. But for the most part, some of us do not know until we get there. So it will be hard for you to qualify if you have all these things that I mentioned to qualify for Social Security benefits. You have to be poor and miserable because the government only help the poor people. So when this lady here, she looks like she's in the ICU. She can't do anything for herself. She doesn't know what's going on. If she does not have life insurance or immediate annuities, everything she will have to exhaust all of these things before she can get help. Now let's talk about the last principle. This is the voice of the nurse, the estates, and the probate court system. So, Mr. Adekunle, when you hear the word estate, what comes to your mind?
Basically, your financial capabilities, your houses, real estate, and of course, your money generally, your worth.
Your wealth. Amazing. You have an idea. How about probate court?
Probate court, basically, I believe probate court is all about like when you die, right? And you cannot like, and when you hold money.
Okay.
And I believe these are the people that will come after you, basically. Probate court really just handles the estate, the,
Okay.
the wills, the trusts,
Yeah.
the conservatorships and all that. But
Yeah.
basically, after someone is dead.
There. Okay. That's amazing. So, estates, when you're alive, it's called what? Bills. It's called bills. When you check out, it's called estates. That's just the easiest way I can explain it to you guys, right? Then probate courts. When you drop down dead in America, depending on where your money is sitting, that will determine if that money will belong to you or it's going to belong to somebody else. So when someone dies in the hospital, there are some numbers the nurse is expected to call to report the death. She called the doctor will certify the person dead. The nurse will call the loan legacy to see if the person is on organ donor list. She called the county state coroner. After she speaks with the coroner, the person is now officially reported dead to the state. Now, everything the person have, everything that looks like an account or money that runs in your name is going to be frozen. All of these accounts here will be frozen. Why? Because you have bills. You have student loans, you have credit cards, you have car notes, you have things that you're owing, your electric bill, even the last hospital bill you stayed at, the ambulance that took you to the hospital, all those bills have to be paid by you. Now, it's no longer going to be you, it's going to be your estates. And your estates are what? Everything that you own, like Mr. Dinkley said, everything you own. So why did they freeze it? He's going to go through probate court. So when someone dies this year in America, the family will get a letter in the mail 1 to 2 years later to come to probate court to claim all that is left. What happens in the probate court? In the probate court, what would they do? They pay off all your bills with all the money that was frozen. After they pay off anything that look like bill in your name, they pay the attorneys and the judges at the probate court. And now anything that is left is what they'll give to your family or whoever you have as your beneficiary. So, but index annuities will never be frozen. If you have life insurance, it will never be frozen. Bonds will be frozen. College fund will be frozen. So what do we see in our community when someone dies or when the breadwinner is sick? We see a GoFundMe or we see committee of friends. We bring people together to ask for help. Why? Because everything that they have might have been frozen in probate courts. So we need help. You would think it's only the middle class or the lower class. No, even the upper class, this happens to everybody. Everyone, no one is exempt. The guy that owns Cash App, he was stabbed in San Francisco. He was taken to the hospital. While he was there in the hospital, what happened? Everything he had was frozen. The family had to go to GoFundMe to ask for $20,000 to bury him. He's rich. It happens to everybody. Also, Wendy Williams that have a talk show on Fox News. She has dementia now. She's still alive. She has dementia. And Wells Fargo has frozen her account for over 2 years. She's been in court with them. Why? Because they said she's what? Incapacitated mentally. So they froze her account. She's still alive. So these things is happening in real time. But the thing is, like, if you haven't happened close to you, you may not hear about it. Families go through these things. So that's why our goal is to bring these educations to our community, to bring the enlightenment. And I want to thank the organizers again for organizing these events. So this is everything we've talked about today. Your checking account, you make money and you never lose money. You don't pay a manager. It grows at 0.1%. You will still pay taxes on that 0.1. It is flexible. You can take your money out anytime. It does not grow by compound interest uninterrupted. When you get sick, it's not going to take care of you. It's going to go through probate courts. Same thing with your savings, only that it grows at 0.2, CD 1%. Now look at the 401ks. 401k, you make money, you lose money. Your index annuities, you make money and you never lose. Your 401ks, you have to pay a manager about 2 to 4% of how much you have on there. But index annuities, you don't have to pay a manager. Your 401k, we don't know at how many percent is growing at least you're sure your index annuities will be growing at 5%. In your 401k, you have to pay taxes at the end. Uncle Sam never forgives. Index annuities, you have to pay taxes. Why? Because most people will roll over their 401k into index annuities for stability. So you will still have to owe that tax. In your 401k, it's not flexible. You cannot access your money just however you want. Your index annuities, if you move the money from your savings and checking accounts, you can access it whenever you want. In your 401k, it does not grow by compound interest uninterrupted. Index annuities grow compound interest uninterrupted. Your 401k is not going to bypass Social Security, will not take care of you when you're sick. It's going to go through probate court. But index annuities also will bypass the probate. So that's why you can see your index has a B plus on it. But look at life insurance. You make money, you never lose. You don't have to pay a manager. It grows at 8%. You don't have to pay taxes. It's flexible. You can take your money whenever you want. It's going to bypass Social Security, bypass probate. So it has an A on it. Bonds only grow at 4%. So when you look at this whole chart, Mr. Ibu, which of these accounts would you like to know a little bit more about?
I already signed up for life insurance, so I want to know more about index annuity.
Okay. How about you, Mr. Ayan Bukola?
Yeah, index annuities too.
Index annuities, okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Timothy. I want to get a number. Is he here? Mr. Femi? Mr. Shagan? Who else is here?
Yeah, I go with index as well.
Okay. So everyone, how about you, Mr. Shaw?
I mean, same thing. I do have life insurance, but
Okay.
I don't know much about the index or annuity.
Okay. And Mr. Samuel, you the same thing as well?
Yes.
Okay.
So please, quick question.
Yes.
So you talk about 401k and the TSP before. You said we can roll it to index annuity.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So a lot of people do that. Actually, you have to leave the job. When you leave the job, instead of leaving the 401k in the stock market, it just keep going up and down and crashing. Some people who knows about index annuity, they roll it over into index annuity just for stability. That way you don't lose money anymore. So when you guys say index annuities and life insurance, nobody said life insurance. Let's focus on index. So this is the three main buckets, how money grows. Money grows on fixed bucket, variable, and indexed bucket. So the fixed here is our checking, savings, and CDs. It's just flat line. Variable here is the stock market. All the 401ks, IRA, everything is here. It's going up like heart attack. When you say index, we're talking about the life insurance and the index annuity. They grow on the index. Do you see how the steps are only going up? So people here, they never lose a dime. They only make money. Why? So the stairs, the graph is only going up. It's locked at some point. It's not locked because you can't take your money out. Why is it locked? So when the market is up and then tiptoes like it's about to crash, they lock this environment. So people here never lose a dime. They just stay where they are. Now, when the market is done crashing and the market is about to go up again, they unlock it. So people here, all they do is just to make money. So when market is down right now, people here are not losing any money. Their money stays the same. Once market is done crashing and is back up, they open it up, they keep making money. Okay? So this is your life insurance and the index annuities. Now let me talk a little bit. Let me fast forward this one. So I don't know if anybody said life insurance here, but we have 4 kinds, right? Group life, term life, and whole life. Group life, simply the one you get from your job. The cost is free. The disadvantages of the group life is like the coverage will end once you leave that job. It's only paid upon that mostly at work. I never knew you have to die at work and on the clock for group life to pay out to your family. There's no benefit to you while you're alive. When you get sick or retire, the coverage will end. So only 0.9 payout. Why? Only 0.9 people can wake up, dress up, go to work, clock in, and fall and die. Most people will die natural deaths. Most people will grow old. So this never pays out. So it's very deceptive. Term life is the cheap one we see on the TV. The coverage will end once you leave your job. It's only paid upon death. You have to die as well. There's no cash accumulation. It's like gambling by betting against your life. Then the whole life, this is the one that can go to age 100. The premiums will remain the same. You may not accumulate cash, but it's very expensive. There's no cash value also. That benefit will be paid without the cash value. Then the index, universal life, this is the one that you have to be healthy to get, and it sounds too good to be true. And also it's like a family miracle. It has about 62 benefits, but for the sake of time, since we're almost done here, I can show you an illustration showing you just 11 benefits of it. So I want to thank you all for giving me this audience to speak to you. If you can give me the next 10 minutes, I will show you like a quick illustration to explain to you the benefits and the compound interest effect of that account. So thank you. Does anyone have any quick question for me while we get to the next chapter?
I actually have a question for you. Earlier you mentioned about rolling over 401k into index annuity, but my question is, when is the tax due on that? Is the tax due immediately or
No, the tax is due at retirement.
at retirement? Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Quick question.
So that means that means
What
that
happened?
means you're gonna be end up paying high taxes, because the taxes now is gonna be a lot cheaper than when in 20 years when you supposed to retire in 20 years.
Like unless you wanna pay your tax now and then
Okay.
put the money in, is also another thing you can do. But some people do it like that because they will have more money to roll over into the annuity and the money will also grow bigger.
Yeah,
So
that's
either
not.
way, you have to give Caesar to what belongs to Caesar.
Yeah, I see.
Okay. Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
So on my TSP, they always been like a Roth IRA because I already paid the tax before I put it in there. So if I want to roll it to index annuity now, am I still gonna pay tax?
So the TSP, do you have the regular one and then you also have the one that's like rough TSP?
No, mine always Roth.
Yours is always rough.
Yeah.
So they've taken out the taxes. So if you don't want it
Yes.
to stay in the stock market and just be
Mhm.
going up and down, you losing money here and there, you can put it in an index annuity. It just stays stable.
Okay.
Steady interest. So let me give you guys like the question. We're gonna have a Q&A session at the end of the day. Give me just the next 10 minutes to run over the benefits, the compound interest benefit of an index. That way we can go into questions and answers, okay?
Okay. Thank
So
you.
permit me to share my screen really quick here with all of you. So I'm just gonna tell you the 11 benefits only. So the number one benefits of the indexed, because remember we talked about when you look at the index bucket, there's two things there. The index annuities, the annuities is easy. You already understand that you can roll over your 401k or you can take money from your saving or checking. The next one in that index bucket is the life insurance. And this is the kind of life insurance I'm talking about. It's not all kinds of life insurance. It's the index universal life. So number one benefit is the compound interest benefit. So compound interest, the premium outlay cumulative is how much the person is contributing. So mind you, this is a policy for a 32-year-old gender female that lives in California, and she bought $1 million policy. So this is what it looks like for her. So the premium outlay is how much she's putting in. Policy value is where the compound interest is happening, and cash surrender is how much she can take. So when you look at this, the year one, this is how much she contributed, and then this is how much she can take. She can take 0. Let's go to year 10. By year 10, she contributed about 87,000, and she have about 82,000 in her policy value, and she can take $75,000. Let's go to year 30. So this is year 30. By year 30, she have contributed about 263,400, and she now have in her policy value 529,000, and she can take 529,000 as well. So let's go to the year when most Americans will retire definitely and stop working. By year 74, age 74, she has contributed $368,000, and she now having her policy value $1.1 million, and she can take and retire on $1.1 million. So this is why we said compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays for it. So this is the only way you can earn compound interest and be on the earning side, because after all, everything that we pay for is already done by compound. So we pay for it, but we are not earning it. But legally, this is the only way you can earn compound interest. So that's number one benefit. Number two benefit is the probate cost-free death benefit. So let's say God blesses this lady and she lives to age 100 and she passes away at age 100. By age 100, her family will have $5.3 million in their death benefit. So this $5.3 million will be given to the family without going through probate courts. As soon as the death certificate is provided, this check is issued. So that is the probate cost-free death benefit. Number three benefits is the tax-free death benefit. When she dies and the family receives this $5.3 million, they will not owe a dime in taxes. This whole money will be given to them tax-free. Okay, tax-free. So that's a tax-free death benefit. Number four benefits is terminal illness. What is terminal illness? If doctor tells her she has 12 months to live she will be entitled to get 100% of her face amount. What is 100% of her face amount? $1 million. So they will give her $1 million to eat while she is alive. This is the real life insurance, not death insurance. There are people they have told they have 12 months to live, and some of them live 21 years later. Okay? So it's no longer your fault that you live 21 years later. The doctor has said you have 12 months, so they gave you your $1 million. So that's number 4 benefits. Number 5 benefits is critical illness benefits. What is critical illness? If doctor tells her she has cancer, stroke, heart attack, there's so many illness in that category, she'll be entitled to get about 90% of her face value. 90% for her here is about $900,000. Okay? So anytime I get to this critical illness benefit, I like to tell the story of my very good friend. My very good friend, we live close to each other. We've known each other for over 10 years. You know how we all come to America for the American dream, to get a better life. We all went back to school. We got all the degrees. We doing our jobs. So she's a nurse manager doing well for herself. They have a beautiful house, 2 cars. Family is doing well. Life is good. I went to her house, how I do this education. I went to her house and educated her. She liked the presentation. She was able to get a policy for herself, thank God. So she got a $1.5 million policy for herself and also got policies for her children. So this was 2 years ago. So in the last 6 months, I saw her daughter taking a walk towards my area, and I wondered, what was she coming to do? Because I don't see them like take walk that area. So I went down and I asked her, oh wait, she said she was coming to my house actually to ask me if it was okay for her to bring her siblings to me so she can go to the emergency room and be with her mom. I told her for sure. I, picked her up, went back to their place, picked up the, siblings, and I actually dropped her off at the emergency room. So I called her mom. I said, Auntie, how are you doing? Your daughter told me that you're not feeling good. She said yes, that, she's been throwing up for 3 months now. She knows she's not pregnant, and she couldn't figure out why she was throwing up. So while she was there in the emergency room, they did CT scan, ultrasound, they did everything, and they found a big mass in her stomach. That's why she has been throwing up. So that mass, they told her they have to do a biopsy and send it to, send to pathology to see what exactly the mass is all about. What happened? Within 1 week, the result came back from pathology, and unfortunately, they told her that she has stage 4 aggressive stomach cancer. That story was a very devastating story. So we sat down, we prayed, we cried. It was like very, very emotional, news that we never would imagine something like that would happen to her. So we cried, we prayed. They told her she has to start chemotherapy by next week because the cancer is very, very aggressive. So she started her chemotherapy and everything, and I reminded her, okay, Auntie, remember when I came to your house and did this presentation and you took a policy, you took $1.5 million. I believe you're qualified to get something. How much would you like for me to file a claim for? She was like, oh, really? I said, yeah. So she said, okay, let's try any amount and see what they'll say. So I filed a claim for $250,000, and she did her policy with Transamerica. So they reviewed the medicals and they called her after 5 days and asked her if she would want a check or if she would want a direct deposit. So she asked for a check. So they mailed her the check and she went to the bank to cash the check. When she got to the bank, she told them that she needed to speak with the bank manager. She had a confidential information. So they arranged for the bank manager. She went in and saw him, gave him the check. And she said, I don't want you guys to cash this check, and on my way out, you call the cops. I just want to make sure that this is a legit check. So they cashed the check. They told her, yes, we've seen many of these checks before. And she called me as soon as she got out of the bank. She said, oh my God, Stella, you won't believe the money is in my bank now. The money is chilling. That was her, that was her language. I'm like, thank God. So what did she do? So she paid their mortgage for 12 months, paid their car for 12 months, all those bills that would disturb her. She paid it for 12 months and focused on the chemotherapy. She finished her chemotherapy 10 weeks, even took 3 more months off work and felt better before she went back to work. Thank God the cancer is in remission. So what happened? Something good came out of something bad. It was not like bad all the way. Because even if she didn't have this policy, who knows, the cancer would have still happened. And how will she weather the storm? Keep the house? Because when you are taking this chemotherapy, it's hard to go to work.
Oh,
You have
sorry,
to-
Mrs. Stella. Please,
Yes.
we just wrap it up. We have all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So let me just finish up this story and we should be done. Okay, so that is the critical illness benefit. So if she has critical illness, she can get up to 90%. The next one is the chronic illness benefit. If she has chronic illness, what is chronic illness? If she have anything like Alzheimer, dementia, she can get up to 90% as well. And then let's look at the access to cash. How can she take money from this account? So let's say she comes by year 15 right here, and she sees like a nice house that she would like to put a down payment on. She can come to her policy and take 100,000 and pay for the house. They will ask her, how does she want the money? Does she want it as a withdrawal or does she want it as a loan? So as a withdrawal, if she take 100,000, it's going to come from her policy value. Remember, the policy value is where the compound interest is happening. It's like the chicken laying the golden egg, but it's your chicken, you can kill it anytime. But if she wants that 100,000 as a loan, where is it going to come from? It's going to come from her death benefit. So they will give her the 100,000 at a 2% interest rate. Why 2%? Because when you have this account, you become your own bank. You can borrow money from yourself and you can choose to pay it back or not to pay it back. If you pay it back, you will have that 2% coming back to yourself. If you don't pay it back, when you pass away, they will minus that money you borrowed and pay your family the rest. So that's how you can access money. The next benefit I'm going to talk about is the income for life. So this is how you can use this account to retire as well, and not just for anything else. So here, let's say this lady retires and she wants this account to pay her $50,000 every year as annual income. So she will just call them to set up an income. So when she set it up, let's say she wants them to pay her up until she is age 101. So when they set it up, this is how they're going to pay her the money. So you can see she retired and she set up income. So the first few 50,000 they will give her every year is going to come from all the money she's contributed over the years. So they will first of all give it back to her to eat while she's alive, because why? This is the real life insurance. It's a permanent life insurance. So when this money is finished, where would they go? Where would they go to give her 50,000 until age 101 that she wanted? They will go to her death benefit. So they will go to this $1.8 million and start giving her 50,000 every year until the age she wanted, which is age 101. Okay. So this is the income for life benefit. So the last benefits I'm going to wrap up with is the $1 million baby. This is how you can use this account to make your kids to be millionaires in this country. And this is how the 5% elites use this account. Because when they know about it, when they have a baby and the baby is within 2 weeks, that is when that child will get their social security in the mail within 2 weeks old. As soon as it comes in the mail, they will open up this account for the child. Now let's see if a child opens, if the parents open this account for the child, let's see how it's going to be beneficial for that child. Okay. This is my last benefit. Thank you guys for being patient and listening up until this point. And then we're going to open it up to questions for anyone who has like any questions for me. Okay. So for the baby, on $1 million, this is what their annual payments look like, about $3,680. It stays the same for the rest of the life. But whenever you get the age you get in determines how much you pay. So for this child, you know, by age 17, most of our kids will have a driver's license. We teach them how to drive. So you can come here and take $7,000, $8,000 and buy their first car. We don't have to get a second job. By age 22, most kids will know what they want to study or who they want to be. They can come here and take $126,000 and go to college without taking any student loan. They become debt-free. Now, this child can retire at the age of 65. They don't have to work until they are 70 years old. By age 65, this child would have only contributed $239,000, and they will have about $2.4 million to retire on. So this is how the elites use this account to make their kids millionaires. Okay. And you and I can duplicate, we can do the same. Some people will say, you know what, Stella, I have too many kids. I have 5 kids. $1 million is too much. You can do 500. You don't have to do $1 million. Even when you do 500, by the age of 65, see what it looks like for the child when they are 65 years old. By age 65, right here, this child is only paying $1,840 every year. By age 65, they would have paid $119,000, and they will have about $1.7 million still to retire on. Okay. What if you say, you know what, 500 is too much? You can do 100, you can do 250. Something is better than nothing. So I'm just going to wrap up here. And I want to give a huge thank you to all of you that have listened from beginning to the end. And I really want to appreciate you all for contributing. So I'm available for questions, and I do respect privacy. I put my number and my email on the chat. Please feel free to text me any private concerns, anything that you cannot ask in the open here. I'll be available till any time to take your questions, okay? All right.